Hello. In continuation with the chapter continuity and differentiability, I think we have discussed about the continuity. Now today we'll have to understand about the differentiability. What is the meaning of this differentiability? Okay. So let us see with an example. Suppose it is a simple Cartesian plane x-axis, y-axis, and we are discussing about a function f of x is equal to any type of function. Suppose this is a curvical function is there, f of x. If the distance from here to here, it is x, okay, then the point P, what is the value of this point P? This distance is x and this distance is f of x. We don't know what is it, so it is x, this is f of x because it is going along with that. So x and f of x. This is one point P, okay. Now let us discuss after some time or after having a distance of h. This is the h distance on the x-axis, okay. This point is on the x-axis, intercept x plus h. So this point q is x plus h and it comes f of x plus h. That means the value of y. This is x plus h and it is f of x plus h, okay. Because this is x and y, they are out of them. One x is independent and this is dependent variable. So whatever the value of this x intercept on x-axis coming x plus h, along the y-axis, what is this? F of x plus h. It is okay. Join from P to Q and we are going to find the gradient, slope of PQ. Slope of PQ is equal to, you know that the formula y2 minus y1 upon x2 minus x1. So I write here f of x plus h minus f of x upon x plus h minus x. So that means it is coming slope of PQ is equal to f of x plus h minus f of x upon h. Is that okay? Now let us consider the value of h is very small, very small. That means I think it is about to 0. It is not exact 0. It is about to 0. That means very close. Very close. That means this point Q is approaching to point P. Okay. So when I write here, if I'll put the limit over here and I write here limit h tends to 0. What does it mean? We are talking about this h is, it's a very small one. Okay, that means this point is reaching to here and we are discussing about that the Q is approaching to Q. So if this Q is approaching to P, that means the value is going to 0. So H is considered as a very small value, okay, which is near about 0. So I write here limit H tends to 0, f of x plus h minus f of x upon h. What is it? That means this point is almost, it is coming here. So here we are going to find the rate of change at an instantaneous point. At an instantaneous point when we are going to find the rate of change of y with respect to x. Rate of change of y with respect to x, because y is a dependent variable on x. So here we have to use the term as a rate of change of y with respect to x is known as dy upon dx. So this dy by dx is the rate of change of an instantaneous point is called differentiation, or the term, suppose this is the function fx. So when I use the term as f dash x is equal to dy by dx is equal to limit h tends to 0 f of x plus h minus f of x upon h. Okay. So this is the concept of differentiation, right? So that is a differentiation. Now we'll have to discuss about the right hand differentiation and left hand differentiation. Okay, what is it? Suppose we are talking about RHD. RHD, what is it? Right hand differentiation. Okay, right hand differentiation, RHD. And differentiable when we are going to check at any function. So the function is to be checked at any point. Let we are going to check it the differentiability at x is equal to A at x is equal to A. We are going to check the differentiability at x is equal to A. So in place of x, I will take a point here. Suppose this point is A, this distance is A. Then what is this? It is A and f of A. Okay. Coordinate same as x and f of x. It is A and f of x. After this is P, right hand. That means towards the right side. This point is Q and this distance is h. Then what is coming here? A plus h, f of A plus h. Okay. So at x is equal to A, RHD limit h tends to 0, limit h tends to 0 plus. Limit h tends to 0 plus, that means we are talking about right hand differentiation going to the right side. Okay. So again using the same thing, x2 y2 minus y1 upon x2 minus x1. So may I write here f of A plus h minus f of A upon A plus h minus A cancel, limit h tends to 0 plus f of A plus h minus f of A upon h. What is it? This is called right hand differentiation. Okay. What is left hand differentiation? When we approach from right side to left side. Okay. So when we approach from right side to left side, x and y, this point is A. Okay. This is A. So the point is A and f of A. Okay. It is A and f of A. A, that is f of A. Okay. It was right hand differentiation, left hand differentiation. Left hand, that means coming towards left side. Okay. Here, coming towards left side. So what happened now? It is coming, or simply I will write here A f of A plus A, everything I will write and checking from left to right. Okay, like this. So this is, I will take here A f of A. Now again having the h difference, this is coming A plus h, f of A plus h. Okay. And now when we are talking about right hand differentiation, that means rather than writing y2 minus y1 upon x2 minus x1, here we have to write here y2 minus y1 upon x2 minus x1. Then what happened? This is RHD, LHD. What is LHD? Left hand derivative or left hand differentiation. Okay. LHD. Limit h tends to 0 minus, and here I am writing here y2 minus y1, x2 minus x1. This is treated as x1 y1. It is x2 y2. That means from right to left. Then what happened? F of A minus f of A plus h upon A minus A plus h. Now let us see what happened. Limit h tends to 0 minus f of A. If I take minus sign common here, I am writing here f of A minus f of A plus h, and this is A minus A, it is minus h. Okay. From the numerator I will take minus sign common. Minus and minus will be cancelled. So it is coming limit h tends to 0 minus f of A plus h minus f of A upon h. Minus sign common, so A minus B becomes B minus A, f of A plus h minus f of A upon h. What is it? This is LHD, left hand derivative. It is right hand derivative. If LHD is equal to RHD, if LHD is equal to RHD, what does it mean? the function is differentiable in the open interval. Okay, or the function we'll have to write here, if LHD is equal to RHD, then function is differentiable at x is equal to a in open interval. Function is always differentiable in open interval. Okay, so that is one. So this is the definition of derivative differentiation, and what is RHD and what is LHD. If LHD is equal to RHD, that means the function is differentiable at the point which is given. Here I have taken x is equal to a, so the function is differentiable at x is equal to a. Okay. After that, one relation between differentiability and continuity. So remember one thing, if the function is differentiable at the given point, that means the function is continuous at the given point. It is true. Okay. If the function is differentiable, then it is a continuous. But it's vice versa is not true. If the function is continuous, so it is not necessary that the function is differentiable in that interval at that point. Is it okay? So one thing we should remember when we are going to prove that the function is continuous, so simply we'll prove that the function is differentiable, it would be automatically continuous. But if the function is continuous, so need not necessary that the function is differentiable. Okay. After this step, we'll have to discuss about some basic things which I think you have studied in class 11th, that how to use the formula. That means one is the quotient rule. One is product rule, and one is chain rule. We'll have to discuss about these three rules in differentiation. Okay. Product rule, quotient rule, and then chain rule. Product rule. Product rule for derivative, or product rule for differentiation. Okay. Product rule for differentiation, suppose fx and gx are two functions. Fx and gx are two functions. Okay. And we are going to find the differentiation of fx into gx. Okay. What we are going to do? We are going to find the differentiation of that. And differentiation with respect to x, the function in the form of x. So dy by dx, fx multiplied by gx. How to solve this type of question? Product of two functions, both should be function, both should be variable. If there is a constant term, then constant is coming outside, there is no problem, simply we will have to differentiate. If both the functions are a variable terms, and we are going to find the product rule, that means the product between these two functions, then how to differentiate them? The simple procedure of differentiation, we'll write first function fx, differentiation of second function plus second function, and differentiation of first function. Okay. This is called product rule of it. First function, differentiation of second function plus second function, differentiation of first function. It's called product rule. Second is quotient rule. What is it? Quotient rule. Again, I am taking both the functions fx and gx are two functions, and they are in the form of fx upon gx. And we are going to differentiate with respect to x. Okay? Differentiate with respect to x. So numerator function, denominator function. How to differentiate it? First, write the denominator gx, differentiation of numerator, minus numerator, differentiation of denominator, upon denominator whole square. This is called quotient rule. It is called quotient rule. Numerator, denominator, Denominator differentiation of numerator minus numerator differentiation of denominator upon denominator whole square is called quotient rule. And number 3, chain rule. Chain rule. What is it? What is chain rule? Chain rule is, for example, suppose dy by dx, the function is f of t. What is it? Dy by dx, the function is f of t. That means here the variable in the terms of t. And the differentiation, we are going to differentiate the term with respect to x. Then what should be done? We can use the term like that. First I'll write here dy by dt, differentiation of t, and multiplied by dt by dx. Have you understood this concept? Suppose the function in terms of t, that means in terms of another variable, and we are going to differentiate this function with respect to x. So first of all, we have to write here dy by dt, function differentiation of the same term. That means whatever the term is here, we have to write here in the form of the same term. If t is here, so t is here. If here is a u, so dy by du fu into dt by dx. Because finally we want to find the differentiation with respect to x. So the last term will be dy by dt upon dx. And this value of this t will be replaced in terms of x, and we'll have to differentiate both the terms. So this is called chain rule. And this chain rule you can use in not only a 2 terms, it can be used in 3 terms, 4 terms and 5 terms. Okay. And we'll have to proceed until the last term is left for the standard and basic formula. Because some differentiation formula, you know that, like x to the power n is equal to nx to the power n minus 1. So here we'll have to convert this term so that we are reaching to the basic differentiation of the term. Okay, basic differentiation of that term. For example, suppose e to the power minus x. A simple example I want to take it. E to the power minus x. Okay. Our rule is, we know that the differentiation of dy by dx e to the power x is equal to e to the power x. This we know that. But this we don't know, e to the power minus x is what. So what we have to do here, let suppose y is equal to e to the power minus x. Let minus x is equal to t. Okay, I'll consider minus x is equal to t. So y is equal to e to the power t. Now it becomes a standard form. Simply we can differentiate the term. Now differentiate with respect to x. So dy by dx is equal to dy by dx into e to the power t. And that means, using the chain rule, dy by dt e to the power t into dt by dx. Now the differentiation of e to the power t with respect to t, it is e to the power t, and dy by dx, the value of t which we have considered, minus x. Okay, so it is coming e to the power t, minus sign is out, and x. What is the differentiation of x with respect to x? It is 1. So that is coming 1 minus e to the power, and the value of t will be replaced, minus x. So the differentiation of e to the power minus x is minus e to the power minus x. Okay. So in such cases, we have to use chain rule for finding the differentiation of the given function. Okay. So these are the 3 rules: the product rule, quotient rule, and chain rule we'll have to use when we solve the question, when we differentiate the term. I hope you know that some basic formula, that the formula of differentiation of x to the power n, differentiation of sin x, cos x, and many more things. In class 11th, you have studied about all these formulae. By the way, I'll give you a list of all the formulae related to the differentiation as well as integration. Okay. So now we are coming to exercise 5.2. We'll discuss about exercise 5.2. There are some questions. Exercise 5.2. Exercise 5.2. Question: differentiate the function with respect to x from 1 to 8. Differentiate the function with respect to x. Okay. Question number 1, sin x square plus 5. Question number 1, sin x square plus 5. And what is the question? Differentiate with respect to x. Differentiate with respect to x. Okay. Let y is equal to sine x square plus 5. Okay. Got it? Differentiate with respect to x. So it is the differentiation of y is dy by dx is equal to dy by dx sine x square plus 5. Here I think x square plus 5, there are two terms here. Okay. So here we'll have to consider let x square plus 5 is equal to t. Okay. Then what happens? Dy by dx is equal to dy by dx sine t. Is that okay? But here what happens? Dy by dx is equal to dy by dx and this is sine t. So using the chain rule, and I'll write here dy by dt sine t multiplied by dt by dx. Now what happens? Dy by dx is equal to dy by dt sine t. Dy by dt sine t, that means we are going to differentiate the sine t with respect to the t. So differentiation of sine t is cos t. So simply I'll write here it is cos t. Simply when we differentiate, the dy by dt is removed from it immediately. Because this dy by dt, it means that we have to differentiate this term. After differentiation, we'll remove this term from here. So differentiation of sine t is cos t. It is removed. Dy by dx and the value of t is, replace the value of t x square plus 5. Okay. Dy by dx is equal to cos t. Now differentiation of these two terms. The two terms are separate, so differentiation of x square plus differentiation of 5. So I write here dy by dx into x square plus dy by dx 5. Dy by dx is equal to cos t. Differentiation of x square. The basic formula of differentiation is, you know that x to the power n, differentiation of x to the power n is equal to nx n minus 1. Okay. So here x square 2x plus differentiation of constant term. Differentiation of constant term is always 0 because rate of change in a constant term is 0. So this is 0. So finally it is coming 2x cos, and the value of t which we have considered t is equal to x square plus 5. So finally the differentiation of this term is 2x cos x square plus 5. Sine x square plus 5 cos x square plus 5 and 2x is outside. Okay. That is one. Another question. From here I want to take now question number here, in which we will use the product quotient rule, question number 5. Question number 5. What is question number 5? Cos sine ax plus b fifth question, sine ax plus b upon cos cx plus d. Sine ax plus b upon cos cx plus d. Okay. Again taking, let y is equal to sine ax plus b upon cos cx plus d. Product rule, is using product rule. Differentiate with respect to x. Dy by dx is equal to dy by dx sine ax plus b upon cos ax cx plus d upon cos cx plus d. Okay. it means dy by dx is equal to, what happens here, numerator and denominators, and both are variables, so we have to use quotient rule. And what the quotient rule says, denominator differentiation of numerator. Denominator cos cx plus d, differentiation of numerator sin ax plus b, minus numerator sin ax plus b, and differentiation of denominator cos cx plus d, upon denominator square cos cx plus d whole square. So it means dy by dx is equal to cos cx plus d, differentiation of sin ax plus b. Here we have to use the chain rule also, sin ax plus b. Again we are taking this ax plus b is equal to t. So differentiation of cos sin t is cos t, and the differentiation of ax. So may I write here direct a. So can I write direct here? Suppose orally you can consider this as a t, sin t, and differentiation of sin t is cos t. So that means it is cos, and what is the value of t? Ax plus b, and again the differentiation of ax plus b. B is a constant term, its differentiation of 0, and differentiation of ax is a. So that is a cos ax plus b minus sin ax plus b, and differentiation of cos cx plus d. Differentiation of cos, this is t. So differentiation of cos t is minus sin t. So this minus, it comes, it is plus sin t, that means cx plus d, and differentiation of cx plus d again, then d is the constant term, it's a differentiation of 0, differentiation of cx is c. So this is coming here c upon cos square cx plus d, because cos x whole square or cos square x same thing. Dy by dx is equal to, now simply we can write here a cos cx plus d into cos ax plus b plus c sin ax plus b into sin cx plus d upon cos square cx plus d. Okay, now nothing can be done in it. It is cos cx plus d, cos ax plus b, it is sin ax plus b, and sin cx plus d. Okay, with a and this 3. So this is the differentiation of the given term. After this question, I'll take one question, that is seventh question. Differentiate with respect to x 2 under root cot x square. Cot x square. Okay. 2 under root cot x square. Let y is equal to 2 under root cot x square in the bracket. Okay. Differentiate with respect to x. So I write here dy by dx is equal to dy by dx 2 under root cot x square. Okay. 2 is the constant term. No differentiation, 2 outside. Dy by dx under root cot x square. After that, dy by dx, we have to use here chain rule, because under root cot x square. Okay. So here what should I do? I will consider let cot x square is equal to t. Because when I take cot x square is equal to t, then on a single term is left, that is t to the power 1 by 2. And t to the power 1 by 2, we have a direct formula, x to the power 1 by 2. 1 by 2, x to the power minus 1 by 2. Okay, so here I will consider let cot x square is equal to t. Cot x square is equal to t. What is coming here? 2 dy by dt under root t multiplied by dt by dx. Okay, dy by dx is equal to 2 dy by dt under root t. Under root t, that means t to the power 1 by 2. So I write here t to the power dy by dt t to the power 1 by 2 multiplied by dy dx, and the value of t is cot x square. Okay, after that dy by dx is equal to 2. Here we are using the basic formula x to the power n, and x to the power n minus 1. So that means it is coming n 1 by 2 t to the power 1 by 2 minus 1. 1 by 2 minus 1, that means minus 1 by 2 into dy by dx, it is coming cot x square. Again, this function, you can see that the function is a very complicated function. We don't know direct differentiation of this term. So here what should be done? We'll consider let x square is equal to u. X square is equal to u. Because when you replace x square by u, then it comes cot u, and the differentiation of cot u is minus cosec square u. Okay. So here now dy by dx cot u. dy by dx is equal to 2 to cancel, t to the power minus 1 by 2, that means 1 upon t to the power 1 by 2, 1 upon t to the power 1 by 2, where I write under root t, because t to the power 1 by 2, that is under root 2. dy by du cot u multiplied by du by dx. Okay, dy by dx is equal to 1 upon 2 under root t, and dy by du cot u, dy by du. So differentiation of cot x is minus cosec square x, like the differentiation of tan x is sec square x, differentiation of cot x is minus cosec square x. So I'll write here minus cosec square u into dy by dx, and the value of u is x square. Okay, after this step minus sign dy by dx is equal to minus 1 upon under root t. What is the value of t? We have considered cot x square. Cot x square, okay, into cosec square u, and the value of u is x square multiplied by dy by dx x square. The basic formula x square x to the power n, that is 2x. So here I can write here 2x. Okay, so that means dy by dx is equal to minus sign 2x cosec square x square upon under root cot x square. Okay, so this is the answer of this question. That means the differentiation of this term 2 under root cot x square is equal to minus 2x cosec square x square upon under root cot x square. Okay. After this question, we are taking check the differentiability at a given point. 2 questions are given in your exercise for checking the differentiability. So I am taking these 2 questions. Question number 9. question number 9. I am solving here. What is it? Prove that the function f f is given by f of x is equal to mod x minus 1. It is given where x belongs to R, set of real number, is not differentiable at x is equal to 1. Is not differentiable is not differentiable at x is equal to 1. We are going to check it whether it's a differentiable. We are proving that it is not differentiable at x is equal to 1. Okay. So differentiability, that means come again to RHD, right hand differentiability, and left hand differentiability. Okay. RHD, right hand differentiability. What is it? Limit h tends to 0 plus f of, the formula is a plus h minus a upon, so in place of a plus h, what should I write here? 1 plus h minus f of 1 upon h. Okay. Limit h tends to 0 plus f of 1 plus h. F of 1 plus h, what does it mean? Since f of x is equal to mod x minus 1, so where there's a x, we have to put 1 plus h. So if I put here 1 plus h, the term is coming mod in place of x 1 plus h minus 1 minus f of 1. F of 1, that means simply I'll put here 1. So it is 1 minus 1 upon h. So result is limit h tends to 0 plus 1 cancel mod h, that means it is h minus 0 upon h. So h cancel, the result is 1. Is that okay? So that means the right hand differentiation is 1. Now let us see LHD. What is it? LHD, limit h tends to 0 minus f of, formula is same, f of 1 plus h minus f of 1 upon h. So what is this? Limit h tends to 0 minus f of 1 plus h. Now I'm going to put the value in place of x, that is 1 plus h, mod 1 plus h minus 1 minus f of 1. Again we'll put here 1, so it is 1 minus 1 upon h. This is coming limit h tends to 0 minus, it is mod h minus 0 upon h. Now you can see one thing here. This is mod h and limit h tends to 0. What does it mean? The definition of mod x is equal to x if x is greater or equal to 0, and mod x is equal to minus x if x is less than 0. So here we have to use the second condition, limit h tends to 0 minus. So what does it mean? Mod h is equal to, this is minus h, because h is less than 0. H is less than 0 in the left hand derivative. So here what should I write here? Minus h, limit h tends to 0 minus h upon h, that is minus 1. And you will see that the right hand differentiation is plus 1 and left hand differentiation minus 1. So that means RHD is not equal to LHD. Therefore, it is not differentiable at x is equal to 1. Is that okay? This concept is clear. Mod h we have to write here minus h, because the condition is mod x is equal to minus x if x is less than 0. If x is less than 0. Okay. So that is the question number 9. Here the value of h is in terms of left hand derivative, it is treated as in the negative side. We have to discuss one more, question number 10. question number 10. 10th question is f of x is equal to greatest integer function x, 0 is less than x is less than 3. That means the value of x is 1 and 2. Okay. 10th question, f of x is equal to greatest integer function x. Okay. And we are going to check it's not differentiable at x is equal to 1 and x is equal to 2. Not differentiable at x is equal to 1 and x is equal to 2. Okay. So in one of them I am just proving it. First, RHD, right hand derivative. Limit h tends to 0 plus f of 1 plus h minus f of 1 upon h. Okay. Limit h tends to 0 plus f of 1 plus x, 1 plus h. So I will put here in the greatest integer function 1 plus h minus f of 1 upon h. Okay. So that means limit h tends to 0 plus 1 plus h. 1 is any quantity, is a positive quantity, and you know that the definition of greatest integer function which says 1.1, 1.2, 1.3 up to 1.9, whatever the values are there after integer 1, its value is 1 only. Because the number, the integer which is coming on the left to the number line is a value. So 1 plus h, that means its value is 1 only. 1 minus the value of integer 1 in the greatest integer function is 1. So that is coming 0. Now LHD, after that LHD, left hand derivative. Limit h tends to 0 minus f of 1 plus h minus f of 1 upon h. It means limit h tends to 0 minus f of 1 plus h. F of 1 plus h, that means it is greatest integer function 1 plus h minus 1 upon h. Now let us see, limit h tends to 0 minus 1 plus h. This h is a very small quantity, but it is in the negative sense. That means this is a minus small quantity because we are talking about the left hand derivative. So from the 1, when we are going to subtract anything, a very small quantity, when we are going to subtract from the 1, then the result is coming 0.999 something, and 0.999 something, which means that the value of this greatest integer function is 0. So here what I write here, 0 minus 1 upon h. So that means it is coming minus 1 upon h. Okay. Limit h tends to 0 minus sign is out, 1 upon h. And you can see that 0 and minus 1 upon h, they are not same, and that means it is coming, hence LHD, RHD is not equal to LHD. Okay. Because when you put the value in place of 0, it goes up to minus infinity, and the value of this term is 0. By the way, both the terms are not equal. Therefore, LHD is not equal to RHD. And same as we can use for x is equal to 2 also. Same as for x is equal to 2. Okay. So that's all. This is the exercise 5.2. I think there are total 10 questions in this exercise. So exercise 10.2. In my next lecture, we'll have to start next exercise 5.3 and using the simple differentiation term. That means we'll have to use direct formula and then find the differentiable terms. That means whatever the questions are there, we are going to find the differentiation of the given terms. Okay. So wait for my next lecture, lecture number 4. Till then, bye. Thank you.